September 11th that we cannot just defend ourselves, we also have to improve the circumstances for others in places where the hatred is so deep that people strap on suicide bombs and kill innocent people, children, killing children. We learned that failed states are the ones that are, for us, the most threatening. Now, when we first got into office, the first crisis that we had, perhaps you remember, was when China downed one of our aircraft on an island, a non-island, and they held our crew captive for several days. That was the first crisis. But I thought to myself, I know how to deal with this. Because China doesn't want war, and we don't want war, and it was tense, but we can de-escalate it. But what we didn't see coming was terrorism from a failed state called Afghanistan. Now, I know that there is a lot of talk today about whether we have the staying power to deal with the Afghanistans and the Pakistans of the world, but let me assure you, if we don't find a way to help repair failed states, if we don't find a way to help people have decent lives in those failed states, then we will pay again. The United States of America has done difficult things before. Afghanistan is the 5th poorest country in the world. When you fly over those high mountains, you see that they were bequeathed nothing but high mountains of dirt. It's a very poor country. It's a civil war-torn country. But the United States of America has got to find a way to make it work, or we will pay. Failed states, not powerful states, are the ones that threaten us most. So we must protect ourselves, and we must help others to find decent lives and decent democratic lives. Because if nobody else stands for the right of every man, woman, and child to live in freedom, if no one else stands for the proposition that tyranny cannot stand in any corner of the earth, the United States of America must stand for that principle. So protecting ourselves and repairing failed states and standing for the proposition that democratic states provide for their people and also provide security for us, that's very important. But none of this will work unless there is a growing global economy. And here I'm concerned because I know that there were excesses in this that brought us into this crisis. But I also know that this was the longest economic expansion in post-war history. And I know how we got there. We got there with private sector-led growth, we got there with low taxes, and we got there with low regulation. Now the reason this is so important, and this recovery, if it will find new jobs, it will find new private sector jobs, because the private sector is creative and it's innovative and it's risk-taking. And I just spent 8 years in Washington, and Washington, D.C. is a lot of things. Creative, innovative, and risk-taking are not among them. Our answers will come from private sector-led growth, and so protecting ourselves and helping people to live decent lives and building a global economy built on private sector-led growth, these are important things that we need to keep focused on if we are to come out of this most recent set of challenges. But there are a couple of other things that we have to do. And here I speak about the United States of America itself.
Wow, this has been great. I mean, as we continue to hear Ms. Rice speak, we learn a little thing about Afghanistan and how such a small state has so much power by not being governed by the right people. Where is that in our aspects of America and how it affects us? I would like you guys out there, Daniel, ask the family, how do they feel about what's going on in this country and how they look at what Ms. Rice has to say about that?